Hi, Rangers. It's Mrs. Burkholder. Today we're going to start talking about figurative language. And some of you are probably familiar with figurative language, but some of you may not be. And the definition of figurative language is a word or a phrase that does not have a normal, literal, everyday meaning. So writers use this for lots of different reasons. They use it for comparisons. They use it to enhance the writing. They use it for dramatic effect. So today we're going to take the opportunity of the day before Halloween to introduce some examples of figurative language. Excuse me. So the first one we're going to talk about today is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds. So let's look at this example. The cute kid showed off his cat costume and carefully placed his candy corn in his bag. So this, the letter C, or the sound of C, the consonant C, is being repeated again and again in this example. The cute kid showed off his cat costume and carefully placed his candy corn in his bag. All right. Some of you may be familiar with this is a very common example of alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound S. She sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, so let's look at another example of figurative language, and this one is very common. You see it in reading all the time, and this is a metaphor. A metaphor is the comparison of two unlike things, but it does not use the word like or as. So let's look at this example. I glanced up to see a black cat cross my path. Its eyes, its eyes, two bright moons shining towards me. So in this metaphor, eyes, the cat's eyes, and the moon is being is the comparison. And I will tell you something else to help you kind of remember what a metaphor is, or to help you look for a metaphor. Metaphors are always written as if they're true facts. So for example, let's say you have a little brother or a little sister, either one, that is really bothering you. They're annoying you. You can't think of anything more horrible to describe them than they're a rat. So my brother is a rat. Your brother is not literally a rat, but you are using that metaphor to describe, your brother's creepiness. And you're comparing your brother's being creepy and filthy and dirty, like a filthy, dirty, creepy rat. So I hope you don't have a little brother like that. Let's go to the next example. You're going to kind of have to skip ahead on these slides because they didn't go in exact order. So the next figurative language device I'd like to show you is simile. Simile is also the comparison of two unlike things, but in a simile, the word like or as is used. So let's look at this example. I shook like a leaf as I exited the building into the dark night. Who knows what kind of creatures were out there? So shook like a leaf is the comparing the fearful shaking to the way a leaf shakes in the wind. And similes are usually easier to find in your reading or text because it has the word like or as. But just because it has the word like or as in a sentence does not always mean it is a simile. Remember, to find a simile, you're comparing two unlike things. So let's move ahead to the next example, which is personification. And personification is giving life or description of life to something that has no life, so an inanimate object. So what kind of things could you give personify? The moon, the stars, a desk, your glasses, a basketball. So let's look at this example. Lightning danced across the dark sky, and the wind moved through the trees as I hurried back to my home. So lightning dancing is giving human qualities to the lightning, and that's being personified. And our last example for today is an onomatopoeia. And onomatopoeias are really fun. An onomatopoeia is the forming of a word from a sound associated with that word. So let's look at this example, and then I'll give you some more examples. Costume on and treat in hand, Farah knocked on the first door with a gentle tap. She was excited, but didn't want to seem too eager. So tap is the onomatopoeia in this example. Tap is representing the sound that Farah made when she knocked on the door. So tap. Uh, Other common examples of onomatopoeia are quack, bam, boom, boo. Those are all examples of onomatopoeia. If you want to look for some really fun examples of onomatopoeia, look up the original Batman TV show on YouTube, and you'll see some examples of onomatopoeia that'll make you laugh. So we will definitely be revisiting some more examples of figurative language, but alliteration, metaphor, simile, personification, and onomatopoeia were the 5 that we went over today. So look for these when you're reading. Look to add some of these figurative language devices in your writing. And I hope you have a wickedly wild, wacky, hauntingly fun Halloween.